Well, hey you guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mirko. Today I'm going to take you through a 55 minutes Pilates class focusing on rotation of our spine. So rotation is very important for the health of our spine, and during our day we don't do enough of it. So today we're going to do a lot of it. So are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. We're going to begin by kneeling, and we're going to start opening our hips. So just go ahead and take a kneeling position. Have your knees just underneath your hips. We're going to take the right foot forward, and then you're going to just lean a little bit forward until you feel a mild stretch at the front of your left hip. And you can put your hands on the front leg if you prefer. And then go ahead and come back in. Now give me a little bit of a pelvic tilt on the next one, and keep that pelvic tilt as best you can and lean forward. And see if you can feel that stretch getting a little bit deeper at the front of the hip, possibly even going down the front of your thigh. And then you're gonna come back in. We'll keep that pelvic tilt and we'll do it again. As you exhale, lean forward. You wanna see that your knee is still behind your toes, so there's no strain on the knee. And then come back in, last two. So keep a little bit of a pelvic tilt. Lean forward. So we're already activating a little bit of your abdominals to keep the pelvic tilted in this position. And then hopefully you should feel the stretch at the front of your left hip. And then come back and give me one more. So as you exhale, lean forward. We're gonna hold the last one here. You're gonna place your hands down on the floor on either side of your right foot. Tuck your left toes under. And then from here, keep your hips where they are in space. So be careful not to lift them up any higher. You're gonna just straighten the left leg back. So depending on how flexible you are on the front of the hips, the knee will be probably a little bit bent if you're a little tight, and it will be a little straighter if you're a little bit looser. You want to keep the leg as straight as you can do today. So you want to feel like your left heel is being pulled back from behind you. And then go ahead and lower the knee back down. We'll do that 4 more times. So as you breathe out, stretch the leg out. Again, only as far as it's okay for you today. And then lower it back down. But you should feel like a mild stretch here and a bigger stretch as your leg straightens out. And then you're going to lower back down. And the weight stays between your fingers and your foot. And then come back down. Give me one more. Extend the leg out. I'm going to hold it here for 3 seconds. And 2 and 1. Now lower your left leg down. Keep your left hand flat against the floor. You're going to rotate your right arm up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to come back in. And we'll do that 4 more times. So as you exhale, rotate. Turn the chest to the ceiling. Turn your fingers to the ceiling. And then come back in. So that rotation will come from the middle of your back, the upper back as well, and come back. So here's your first rotation of the day. We're gonna do a few more, as I mentioned. Reach up, and you're gonna give me one more. You're gonna hold this one here, press into the floor with your left hand, and see if you can rotate the chest just a touch more to the ceiling. And then you're gonna come back in. Take your front leg, your right leg, a little bit more forward. Keep the heel where it is. You're gonna have your fingertips just slightly touching the floor. You're gonna shift the weight back until the right leg straightens out. And as best you can, try and keep your back straight, especially the lower part of your spine. And you should feel now the stretch in the right hamstrings. So again, if you're a little tight in the right hamstrings, your knee might be a little bent, and that's totally fine. But try and straighten it as best as you can today. Then from here, we're gonna bend the right knee and straighten. And as you straighten the leg, make sure that your back stays straight. So be careful not to do this as you straighten the leg. And then give me one more. We're gonna hold the last one here. And then just gently with your right arm, press very lightly down, just above your knee. Press down and see if you can feel that stretch getting a little bit deeper into the back of the knee. And again, very light pressure here. You don't want to press too hard. And then go ahead and take both hands on the ground, bring that leg back, give it a little shake. And now we're going to do the other side. So big step forward on your left side, on your left leg. A little bit of a pelvic tilt already here. You're going to lean forward until you feel that stretch on the front of the right hip. And you can put your hands on the front leg and then go back. And we go forward again, maintaining that pelvic tilt so that the stretch is on the hip and not just going into your lower back for no reason at all. And then come back. Last, you want to be breathing out as you lean forward. And then you come back. One more time, we're going to hold this one here. Then place the hands on either side of your left foot. Again, back should be as straight as you can here. Then tuck your right toes under. You're going to lift that knee up. Heel reaches back. Again, the leg may be straight or maybe not. Depends on how flexible you are. Don't strain it if it doesn't straighten fully. Bend the knee again. Keep the weight between your left foot and your fingers. Extend yet a leg up. And go back down. Inhale. Exhale. Reach the heel back. Pretend there's a string attached to your right heel and it's pulling your leg behind you. Final one. We're going to hold this one up for 3, 2, 1. Lower the knee back down. Your right hand stays down in front of you. Your left arm reaches around and twist the chest towards the ceiling. So you're pressing the floor away a little bit with your right arm. And then come back. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, come back. And again, make sure the rotation happens from your rib cage and not just your arm going back and forth. And then come back down. Last 2. You want to spiral the ribs. Chest faces the ceiling as best as you can. Come back down for the last one. Exhale to rotate. Hold it here. Big inhale. And exhale, come back down. Take your left foot forward a couple of inches and then shift the weight back until your left leg is now straight. If you flex the foot, you'll feel the stretch a little more. But again, if your knee doesn't straighten fully, just keep it slightly bent. That's totally fine. From here, we're going to bend the knee and straighten. Emphasis here is to straighten the leg, maintaining your back straight. So be careful not to let it round as you straighten the leg. You want to keep the spine very still. Final one, we're going to hold the leg here with your left arm. Gently press above your knee. Press down to feel a little bit more stretch to the back of the knee. But be very gentle here. You don't want to push too hard because the knee, it's already open at its full range. Then go ahead and take both hands down. Bring the knee back. Let's open the knees a little wider than the hips. We're going to go into child's pose. Your feet are going to touch, your knees are going to stay wide. You're going to sit down onto your heels, get comfortable into the crease of your hips, and then flatten the upper body as much as you can towards the floor. So reach the arms towards the top of the mat and settle into your hips and into your shoulders. And we're going to add some more rotation. As I mentioned, there's a lot of rotation today. So now from here, take your right arm and slide it under. You want to slide it under until the right shoulder is touching or near enough towards the floor. So your right arm is going across towards the ground. Your left arm is going up towards your mat. Try and walk your left fingers up towards the top. Then you're going to come back and we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So your left arm slides under. You're going to reach the left arm across the floor as you reach the right arm up towards the top of the mat. And we're going to come back and do that one more time. So your right arm slides under. So see if you can rotate the chest a little more towards the ceiling. I know it's going to be a super small movement, but you should feel a little bit more stretch if you do that. And then return back in. Give me one more on the other side. So slide your left arm across. The right arm reaches up and over. Big inhale into the right side. And then exhale, come back to the center. Now from here, walk your hands in. That's it. Roll the shoulders back a couple of times. We're going to finish that warm-up series with some side bends now. So again, resume your child's pose position. This time, take both hands to your left and bend your spine towards the left side. So you want to see that your thumbs are next to each other. So if you're bending to the left, the stretch should be on the right side of your waist. If you want to increase the stretch a little more, take the right hand on top of the left, if that's available to you. If you can't do that, just keep it here, that's fine. And then just drop the head and chest down. We'll take 2 big inhales into the right ribs and then exhale. And then again, big breath into the left rib cage. Feel how the ribs just open up away from each other. And then as you exhale, come back to the center with your hands. Now we're gonna bend to the right. So both hands to the right side of your mat. Drop the head down. So initially you wanna start with your thumbs in line with each other. If possible, take the left hand on top of the right. And you should feel that stretch from the base of your armpit right down to the base of your rib cage. And to increase the stretch, simply breathe in mostly into your left side now, to the side that you're stretching. And then exhale, let the rib cage just relax. Give me one more. Inhale, breathe into the left side mostly. Feel the ribs expand. And then exhale, come back to the center. And back into the middle. Walk your hands in. Good. Adjust your clothes, just in case. And then let's go ahead and lie down on your back. So we're just gonna lie down like so. You're gonna take your hands behind your head. Make yourself nice and comfortable. Make sure you're in the middle of the mat. And we're gonna add, you guessed it, some more rotation. So from here, you're gonna keep your hands behind your head. Your elbows are wide, but they don't have to be really pinned down to the floor. So just keep them in your peripheral vision. Keeping your legs together, you're gonna rotate your knees to your left, but try and keep your right arm or your right shoulder on the ground. And then you come back in. You do the same thing on the other side. Rotate towards your right. Try and keep the left shoulder flat against the floor. If it lifts up a little bit, that's fine, but try your best to keep it open. And then rotate back in. And we'll do it again. So rotate the knees towards your left. You can turn your head towards your right. So you should feel like the back is kind of just rotated and twisted from base of the head to the base of your spine. And you're gonna come back in. And you cannot come back in using your waist muscles, by the way. So you don't wanna come back from just rocking the hips back. You wanna rotate back ribs, pelvis, and knees. On the way down, you want knees, hips, and then rib cage. So you should hopefully feel a stretch down the side of your waist. And to come back, pull the rib cage down first. Then pull your ribs back. Then pull your knees. We'll do that one more time. So segmentally move your knees, your hips, your rib cage, and then you can turn the head to get a full rotation through your spine. Big breath in. Exhale, roll the rib cage back. Then your waist, then your hips, then your knees. And give me one more. And hopefully by doing that, you should feel a little bit more work or activation in your abdominals. So that's gonna be your abdominal warm-up. Then exhale to come back in. All right, this time let's take your arms by your sides. Position your feet about 1 fist distance apart. We're gonna go into bridging. So bridging, we're gonna start with the pelvis rolling towards your chest so that your rib cage is soft, your lower back is flat against the mat. Then roll the pelvis away from you so you have a little bit of a gap behind your back. And we're gonna do that twice more. So roll the pelvis towards you, soften the chest and the rib cage, and move the pelvis away. One more. And you wanna make sure you're doing this moving from the abdominals and your back muscles, not from your legs. Now, roll the pelvis towards you. Let's roll up to your full bridge. And now, of course, your legs will have to work a little bit more. Pause when you're at the top. You wanna make sure you have a straight line from the knee all the way up to your shoulder. So from the side view, you're looking like a diagonal straight line. And from here, we're gonna roll down from the chest. Feel the rib cage arrive down first, then your lower back, and then your pelvis. And we'll do it again. Roll the pelvis towards the ceiling. So your sitting bones, which are right behind here at the base of our butt, are facing the back of your knees. You're gonna hold it here. Your chest is open, but make sure when your chest is open, you don't do that. So you want the ribs down and yet the shoulders open. And then go ahead and roll back down, keeping the shoulders open as well. And we'll do it one more time, and then we're gonna add a what? Rotation. You're gonna see like so much rotation that you'll be sick of it. In a good way, of course. Now hold the pelvis up. Keeping the shoulders level, and you keep your knees very still. You're gonna rotate the hips to the left. So your left hip is gonna be a little bit lower, and then level it, and then the right, and left, and right. So imagine you have pockets in your pants. If you do have pockets, you don't have to imagine it. But imagine you have sand in the pockets and you're pouring the sand out of one pocket and you're pouring the sand out of the other pocket. And repeat that again. And just a quick look at your knees. Make sure your knees are staying facing forward. They don't do this kind of business, right? So you want to isolate the pelvis from the rest of your spine, or like the rest of your body, I should say. Now pause in the middle, let's roll down halfway. So most of your ribs will be touching the floor, and yet your lower back and pelvis are tilted towards you this way. Then repeat that same pouring of the sand from side to side. So we're mobilizing a different area of your spine right now. And you should hopefully feel a little bit of work in the glutes here. So the back of the leg is working. Now pause in the center, roll down a little bit more, and keep about an inch space underneath your butt. So now the rotation continues. It's going to be a very small rotation now. We want to feel the rotation is mostly happening in the lower back and the pelvis. The higher you are with your hips, the more rotation you're going to get at the top of the ribs. The lower you are, the more it's going to be down to the lower back. Finish in the center, roll all the way down. Give your legs a bit of a shake. Let's do one more bridge, roll all the way up, and now see if you can feel more movement through all the segments of your spine, and then compared to the very first one that we did. And then go ahead and roll back down. We'll do that one more time. So exhale, roll the pelvis towards you, and then inch by inch, peel yourself up, get into your bridge, straight line from knees to shoulders, and then exhale, roll on down. Let's go into our neutral position with your pelvis. Take your hands behind your head. Now we're gonna get to the abdominals, warm up and then work. So we're gonna go into the chest lift. So as you breathe out, you're gonna roll the head and shoulders up. As you roll up, think of sliding your ribs down towards your pelvis, like you're plugging the ribs into the pelvis. Grab the back of your legs, lift yourself up a little higher, use your arms, and you should feel a bit more space under your shoulders. Keep that space there, take one hand behind, then take the other hand behind. Hold here for an inhale, and then exhale, let's roll back down. We'll do that 3 more times. So exhale, roll head and shoulders up, slide the ribs down to your pelvis, grab your legs, lift up a little bit more, use your arms here. Then take one hand at a time behind your head. Hold there for an inhale, and then an exhale to roll back down. Last 2, this time we're gonna release the hands at the same time. So once you've rolled up and you've held the knees and you've lifted yourself up, take both of your arms behind, hold. You should feel how the upper abdominals are working to keep you up in that position, and then go ahead and roll back down. And we'll do it one more time. Breathe in to prepare. Exhale, slide the ribs down, lift the shoulder blades up, grab the legs, use your arms and lift yourself a little higher. Take the hands behind. Now we're gonna stay here. Bring your left knee up, then bring your right knee up. At this point, you should feel your lower back in contact with the mat, but your shoulder blades off the floor. And then as you breathe out, you're gonna tap your left leg down towards the mat. Inhale to bring it back up, and exhale to tap it down. So ideally, you wanna touch the floor with your toes. However, if your lower back feels tension, or you feel like you're arching your lower back away from the mat, then do a smaller movement, and you don't have to touch the floor at all. However, if you want a challenge and you want to work your abs a little more, pause in the center. You're going to lower both legs down, tap the floor lightly, come back in. Your elbows remain wide so you can see them in your peripheral vision, and then come back in, and you should feel your abdominals getting a little warmer now. And now check the distance between your shoulders and the floor. Do you have a good space behind here, or are you back here? You want to be lifted and look towards your thighs the whole time. Give me one more. Lower down. Lift the knees up. Grab the back of the legs. You're going to press the legs away. You're going to roll yourselves up super nice and slowly. Well, not so super slowly, but slowly enough. And then sit up nice and tall. From here, we're going to roll back down. So you're going to curl the pelvis under like we did in bridging. You're going to pause here for a moment. Bring the legs up and find your balance. See if you can hold that balance without holding your knees at all. This is all happening from the abdominal muscles. So you want to suction your legs into your body so that you don't have to use your legs at all, using all of the abdominals to hold you up. Hands behind. Roll on down. So if you find that you're going down too fast on the mat, push the legs a little bit more away from you. So your legs are pushing, your arms are pulling. And same thing goes on the way up. So you're gonna take an inhale to lift your head and shoulders. Exhale, press the legs and pull your arms at the same time. And then go ahead and roll back down. So this is called the assisted roll up, and it's the easy version of the full roll up, which we're about to do in a moment. So please stay with this option if you feel that this is better, it is more achievable today, your back feels better, and you feel more help to come up off the floor. You want to feel like you're never straining to come up off the floor. So you always want to feel like there's assistance from the legs and your arms. And we'll take that one more time, roll all the way down. So this is like the reverse of bridging. Bridging, we started lifting from our pelvis. Now we start lifting from our head. Now, from here, sit up straight. Have your legs straight in front of you. Flex the feet, reach your arms in front. Pretend there's a beach ball in front of your body. You're gonna roll yourself around the beach ball without squashing it. And this is the end of your roll up. Now, we're gonna do the full roll up from here. Sit up straight. And then from there, go ahead and roll back down. So your lower back will touch the floor first, then your mid back, then your shoulders, and then your head. Now, before we roll up again, make sure you have that connection between your rib cage and your pelvis here. So even though your arms are over the head, your lower back should be fairly flat against the mat. It won't be completely on the floor, but it shouldn't be up here either. So remember to keep your ribs connected to your pelvis at all times. Then we're gonna do the full roll up now. You're gonna start by bringing your arms to the ceiling. Then look towards your toes. Exhale, peel your spine up, leading with the top of the head. Go into your stretch. So think of this like the shape of a horseshoe. And then inhale, sit up straight. Exhale, you're gonna roll back down, initiating from the pelvis. Lower back touches, pause for a second, roll the rest of the spine down, maintaining that connection between the pelvis and your rib cage. And then again, we'll do it 3 more times. Remember, you guys have the option here to hold on to your knees like we did earlier. So exhale, peel the spine up, you're diving yourself around that beach ball. Inhale, sit up straight. Exhale, roll on down. Control, legs are lengthening away from you as you roll down. Reach over your head, maintain that connection with your ribs and your pelvis. Last 2, arms come up. Exhale, roll the head and shoulders. That's it, good. And then sit up straight, roll on down. Now we're gonna do that one more time, and then we're gonna stay seated. So inhale, lift your head and shoulders up. Peel yourself off the floor. Exhale all the way until the very end. From here, sit up straight, take your legs a little bit wider than your mat. If your hamstrings are feeling a little tight, you can bend the knees, of course, but otherwise keep them straight. And we're gonna go into the so. So you have your arms as open as your legs. You're gonna rotate towards your left. And then as you exhale, you're gonna reach for your left foot with your right arm. Now, if your toes are feeling a little bit too far, hold on to the shin and give yourself a little pull with your right arm. So you wanna use your arm to kind of rotate around to the side. And then de-rotate and come all the way up. Rotate towards your right side, reach for your right foot. In the meantime, your arm is reaching back. And stack yourself back up. Give me 1 more on each side. Reach into the opposite foot with your arm. Inhale, stack yourself up. Rotate the rib cage and go towards your right side. Back in, pause in the center. Bring the legs about hip width. So now we'll do the same movement but with your legs in this position. And then we're gonna combine it with the roll up. How exciting is that? So from here, rotate towards your left side. Go towards your left foot with your right hand. Again, ideally you wanna get to the pinky toe, but it doesn't have to be that far, especially if you feel too much tightness at the back here. Bend the knees if you need to, or just hold on to the shin. Restack your spine. Rotate towards your right. Go towards your right pinky toe with your left pinky finger. And then come back up. All right, so now let's combine it together. Keep the legs in the same distance, the same distance apart. You're gonna roll yourself down all the way, reaching your arms over the head. Now, as you do your full roll up, you're gonna take a little twist towards your left side. Back to the center. Twist towards the right. Back to the center, roll on down. And if you guys are doing the modification with your knees bent, I'll do one with you. You're gonna roll up the same way and then just simply go into your rotation. So the only different part here will be that you're holding onto your knees to come back up. And same thing goes on the way down. You hold onto your knees, you roll back down. I'm gonna go back to the full version now for the last 2 repetitions. So your arms are gonna travel to the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, slant your ribs down, twist towards your left side, come back up, twist towards the right side. You wanna take your gaze towards the back of the backhand. So whenever you're twisting, you're rolling your head and looking behind you. So the spine is in a full spiral from the bottom to the top. Go ahead and roll back down. We're gonna do it one more time, I promise. And then from here, arms come up. Exhale, peel your spine up, go to the left, look behind you, sit up straight, go to the right, come back up, hold it here, everybody bend the knees. We're gonna move on to the hundreds. You're like, what is that? So if you're new to Pilates, you don't know what that is, you'll be pleasantly surprised. If you know it, then you know what to expect. You're gonna roll back down. We're gonna stop right here. Keep your feet on the ground. We're gonna start pulsing your arms up and down. So imagine you have a soap dispenser under your hands. You're gonna pump the soap out. And big inhale. And exhale. At any point, if your neck bothers you, take one hand behind. Option 2, let's lift the legs up. Tabletop legs. Your eyes are always looking towards your thighs. Full option, straighten legs 45 degrees. Make sure you're keeping the lower back against the mat. If it bothers your back, bend the knees or simply lift the legs higher. Good. And we take it again. Inhale for 5 counts. Exhale. We're more than halfway through. You guys are doing great. Just keep going. I'm feeling it too. I'm doing it too. So I'm going to do my last 2 with my legs lower because I want to challenge myself today. One more time, only join this movement or this option if your back can stay flat against the floor. And then go ahead and bend the knees and rest. Whoa, that should work your abdominals a little bit, right? Roll the hips from side to side. So now, keep your back straight, hold on to your left knee. You're gonna extend your right leg out, maintain the lower back against the mat. You're gonna switch to the other leg. So pretend your legs are moving through honey. So there's a little bit of resistance going out and also pulling in. So your legs have to kind of like work against an invisible resistance here. Now, if you want to do the full version, hold your left knee, roll the head and shoulders up. Your straight leg can now be a little bit lower if your lower back is flat against the floor. And then go ahead and switch. And switch. And switch. So you have a good firm grip on your knee with your hands for now. We're not going to do that for much longer. Now, give me 50% grip now on that knee. So it becomes a very light grip. And then see if you can do the full version with your hands behind your head and keep your legs moving. So you're going to exhale, 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 exhale. Move the legs through the honey for more. And for 3, and for 2. And for 1, come back in, grab the back of the knees, let's roll up. This time we're not gonna touch the floor anymore. See if you can keep your feet off the ground, but keep your toes kind of close to the floor nonetheless. Then let go and stay in that position. Good, feel like your knees are coming a little closer to your chest without using your arms or your legs. And now from here, hold on to the back of your knees, let's roll down again. You're gonna pause with your shoulders off the floor. Same movement that we just did, but now with the legs straight. So you're holding the back of your left knee. Your right leg is almost touching the ground. And you're looking towards your lowest leg, so your neck is in the correct positioning. Then from here, use the abdominals, pick up the legs and hold the other one. And switch. And switch. So you want to feel that your legs are coming up because of your lower abs and not because of your legs. And again, your legs are still moving through honey, so there's some resistance going down as well as coming up. We're gonna pick up the pace for 8, 7, 6, 5, exhale 4, exhale 3, exhale 2, exhale 1, both legs up, hold. Take your hands behind your head and let's do the same exact movement without your legs, without your arms. So lower one leg down and switch for 8. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs bend, place them on the floor, and bring your head and shoulders down. Good work, you guys. Hopefully you should feel that a lot in your abdominals. So let's open up the front of the hips. We're going to go into the shoulder bridge. Similar to the bridge, we're going to use our legs in a different way. So starting with your heels a little bit further away from your butt. So the distance between your heels and your butt should be about the length of your forearms, roughly. You don't have to be super exact, but just kind of, ballpark. Then just like the regular bridge, we're going to roll the pelvis up, peel yourself up, and we're going to stay at the top of the bridge. Your hips are level, your shoulders are open. Take all of the weight onto your right leg and lift up your left leg off the floor. And again, you want to see that your hips are still level at this point. Straighten this leg up to the ceiling, flex the foot. And again, if your hamstrings are tight, just keep it bent. From here, you're going to lower the leg down, at least in line with the other thigh, possibly lower. But just watch your hip is not rolling to the side. Keep them level. You should feel a bit of a stretch at the front of your hip, not unlike the stretch we did at the beginning of the class. And then lift the leg back up. Flex the foot down, point the foot up. And again, 8 times, lower and lift. If you want to make it a little more interesting, lift your arms up so you have no support from your arms. And lift. Keep pressing through your right heel. You should feel your right butt muscles working. One more. Lower the arms down, lift the leg up, place the leg down, change side. Right leg comes up, flex the foot. And then from here, lower the leg down and lift. Lower the leg down and lift. So again, watch that your right hip stays in line with the left side and up. Every time you exhale, you're softening the ribs a little more. So there's less chance that your lower back will take over and lift you up too high. And you got one more to go. Bring the legs down, go ahead and roll all the way down to the floor. Bring your hands to your hands behind your knees, roll yourselves up. And then from here, let's go into quadruped. We're gonna change a little bit body position. We're gonna go back to the abdominals in a moment, but I wanna work on the back muscles now and the waist muscles. So let's start with quadruped position. Let's just do a couple of cat cow stretches just to feel where we are in space. And then find your neutral position. So we're gonna add some rotation to our quadruped, of course. We can add rotation to pretty much anything, really. So from here, we're gonna lift your right arm off the floor. And then I'd like you to thread this arm under and rotate. Now, your left arm is gonna stay straight, your hips are gonna stay straight, you're just gonna rotate. This is similar to the stretch we did at the very beginning of the class when you were here, right? But your arms are just looking a little bit different now. Come back to the center, reach your right arm over the head. We'll do that twice more. So rotate. Your fingers are sliding in the air across towards your left side. Come back up and give me one more. Rotate and feel the rotation happening from the middle back and then come back up instead of just the arm going under like this. Change arm when you're ready. Left arm is up. Take a breath in. Exhale, rotate, thread the body under. Come back into the center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, come back. Exhale, rotate. And come back and place your arms down. Now we're gonna go into the regular quadruped and then we're gonna put them together. So you're gonna have your right arm over your head, your left leg reaching back, and just hold here for a second. So you want equal weight between the knee, the right knee and the left hand. And you wanna elongate from the back of the head all the way down to your tail. So imagine you have an elastic band between your right hand and your left foot. You're stretching that elastic band as long as you can. Come back down and switch over to the other side. So your right leg goes back, left arm goes forward. Again, stretch that elastic band as much as you can. Keep that connection from the ribs to the pelvis, similar to when you were doing the roll up. You're gonna come back in. Now let's combine it together. Left leg goes back, right arm goes forward. You're gonna pause here. Now, keep the hips and the leg, the left leg, as still as you can. Thread the right arm under, rotate the chest, look towards your left fingers, hold it here. and then come back up. I know this is more challenging than before. It's meant to be more challenging than before. Again, rotate under. Try and really isolate the top of the body from the lower body, and then come back up. Can we do what? 2 more times. Rotate under. Press the floor away with your left arm. Imagine you have a glass of water balanced on your butt. Don't spill it. 1 more. Rotate under. Good. And then to finish, come back to the center. Take your right hand behind your head, lower your left foot down, and then rotate the opposite direction. Rotate towards the ceiling. Try and get your right elbow to point to the ceiling as much as you can, and then come back in. Let's change side. So you're gonna start with your right leg back, making sure your right hip is facing the floor. So be careful to start here, otherwise the rotation will feel very challenging. So keep your spine neutral. Left arm is in front. From here, left arm goes under. Rotate the chest. Your chest follows your left fingers. Then come back to the center. Ooh, I'm a little wobbly on this side. It's obviously not my strong side, maybe. Rotate across. Come back up. We'll do it twice more. Keep balancing that glass of water on your butt, you guys. Don't spill it. And reach. You got 1 more to go. Rotate from the shoulders, from your chest, from your ribs, and then come back in. Take the left hand behind, lower your right foot down, and go ahead and rotate towards the ceiling. Open the chest. This should feel really good. And then come back in. Let's come down to the elbows. We're going to go into a quick kneeling plank, and then we're going to go into the leg pull front. So option 1 for this one, you're going to keep your knees down, and you're just gonna lift 1 leg and then replace it, and then lift the other leg and then replace it. Full version, you're gonna start with your legs straight, toes are tucked under, rib cage and pelvis pulled in. From here, as you breathe out, lift 1 leg up and hold for 3 and 2. And you should be breathing normally here. Come back down and switch. Make sure your bottom is not creeping higher and higher and higher to the ceiling. This is gonna feel very easy. We wanna challenge ourselves, so keep your pelvis down. And again, change leg. Also notice what happens to the shoulders. Are we rounding the back too much? Try and keep the chest open. You need 1 more on the other side. Lift the other leg up. Hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Come on down, bend the knees. Full version, arms straight. If your wrists are bothering you, stay with the elbows down. So from here, you're gonna take a plank position, reach the heels back, reach the head forward. Stay strong into your arms. As you breathe out, lift 1 leg up and hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Come on down and change. As you change from 1 leg to the other, your pelvis should remain very still. Come back down and switch again. As you breathe out, feel your abdominals pulling a little more. 1 more on the other side. Good, hold. Lower the legs down, stay right here. If you were on your elbows, come up onto your hands and go into a downward dog position. And you wanna see, or you wanna feel that your heels are as close to the mat as they can be. We're gonna take a little walk now. So bend your right knee and then bend your left knee. And as you do that walk, you're still pushing the floor away with your arms. And try your best to bring the chest closer to your knees. So you're stretching under your armpits, you're stretching the back of the legs, and keep that going while I readjust my shirt because it's riding up my shoulders. In a moment, I'm gonna be naked. And finish the last one, drop the heels down. From here, drop the knees down and take your knees a little bit further back. So they're not exactly under your hips, they're gonna be a little bit further back. Now, shift the weight forward onto your hands. So you are in a kneeling plank now. We're gonna go into a movement called the up stretch. This can also be done on your elbows, by the way. If your wrists are not happy here, just go on your elbows. So from here, from your kneeling plank, hinge from the hips and sit towards your heels. Round your back into a cat stretch, and then unroll your spine into a straight back. And again, behind. Roll from your pelvis, drop the head down, then go into a straight back. So from here, from your shoulders to your knees, there should be a straight line. Option 1, stay with the knees down like we just did. Option 2, legs straight. We're gonna go to downward dog first. From this point, round your back, just like we practice on the knees down. Go into your plank, lift the chest forward and up, reach the heels back, hinge from the hips, round your spine, keep pushing the floor away. Open the chest as you go into your plank. You go one more. Inhale back. Exhale, round your back. Go into your plank, hold it here, walk your feet forward just an inch. Would be such a waste not to do a push-up here, so let's do a push-up. Inhale down, pause, hold, hover, 3, 2, 1, and push away. That looked too good, we're gonna do one more time. Inhale down, stay here, hold, 3, 2, 1, go ahead and push yourself up, bend the knees, and turn to your side. Whew, all right. Again, readjust your clothes. We got it, guys. I'm feeling it too. I'm with you the whole way. All right, so we're gonna work on our side. We're gonna go, of course, into some rotation. Of course, it's a theme of the day. So option 1, we're gonna bend the knees and we're gonna take the top hand behind. So I'm on my left elbow. Well, facing you, I'm on my right, but I'm facing you. So it should be on your left elbow. So from here, take your hand behind. Let's practice it first. You're gonna rotate the chest forward and then back to the center. Rotate the chest to the ceiling. Be careful that your hips remain facing forward. So none of this kind of rocking from the hips. You just want to isolate the rib cage from your pelvis and then come back. So option 1, let's pick up the hips and do that rotation. Forward, inhale as you rotate back. Exhale, forward. Now option 2, full version, straight legs. And then we're gonna go forward and back. So you'll feel that the most rotation you're getting right now is forward, and that's normal. But do try your best to rotate back as much as you can today. So you really wanna feel like an opening here. You can take the arm back if it's more stretch. We go one more. Rotate back, open, 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 stay. Look straight ahead, reach your arms over the head. Hold, still lifting your hips up. Good, hold it here, 3 seconds. 2, 1, lower the hips down, bring the legs in front. Bend the knees, bring your arms all the way back behind you. Your fingers are facing sideways. You're rolling the shoulders back and down, the chest is open. From here, plant your feet down. Let's do a bridge. Reaching the knees forward. That's it. So this is your reverse plank, really. And then go ahead and roll down, but keep your chest wide the whole time. Give me one more. This is your transition between the left and the right side. So hips are lifting to the ceiling, your arms are pushing into the floor, your legs are pushing into the floor, and then go ahead and roll down. And then once you're here, go ahead and change side. So let's just prep it first, just so that we know what to get into. So your elbows in line with your shoulder and your elbows also in line with your hip. Right here, you want that alignment to never change during the exercise. So we'll take the left hand behind. You're gonna rotate towards the floor, exhale, and then inhale, rotate towards the ceiling. Again, you can use your arm to kind of give you a little more rotation on the way back. And then forward again. And lift up. Reach behind. Back in. All right, so option 1, we're gonna lift the hips up. Option 2, we're gonna have your legs straight. We'll do it 5 times like the other side. So as you exhale, rotate forward. Inhale, come up, reach to the ceiling or use your arm. And rotate forward. And rotate back. Make sure your hips are not moving. So you wanna isolate rib cage from pelvis. All the motion come from your waist rather than your legs or your hips. Reaching back. This is your last one, everybody. Round forward again. And up and back. Back to the center. Hold. Reach your arm over the head. Draw your abdominals in. See if you can lift up a little higher. For 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down. Nice. Now, bend your right knee and bend your left knee to the side. We're gonna go into some mermaid just to stretch out both sides. If that feels uncomfortable for you, you can sit with the legs like this, with your left leg straight. But I'll do the full version, so I'm gonna be here. So we're gonna take your arms out to the side. We're gonna side bend towards your right. Place your right hand on the floor. From here, rotate the upper body so that your hands are on the ground. Again, if you have your leg here, you might just be able to put your fingers on the floor, and that's totally fine, as long as you get that rotation at the middle of your back. And then de-rotate towards me again, and rotate down, and up. Last one, stay down. This time, lift the chest up. You can bring your left butt off the floor a little bit here. And you can do the same if you have your legs straight. Pretend there's a string pulling you forward and up. You want to feel that opening, that kind of arch through the whole back. Then pull back into a flexion, so around the spine. And then lift yourself back up. We'll do it one more time. Round yourself back. Let the pelvis move with your spine. And then lift up. Good. And then from here, go back to your normal mermaid side bend. Come all the way up. Without using your arms, if you can, switch leg. But if you need to use your arms, go ahead and do that. And again, use the option to have your right leg straight if that feels uncomfortable for you. Side bend towards your left side. Bend your left arm. Bring your right arm up and over until you feel the stretch on your side. Then rotate to the ground. Adjust your hands so they can go a little wider. And just breathe into the middle of your back. Feel the shoulder blades pulling apart slightly. Then we're going to go into our flexion extension. So you're going to take an inhale, lift the chest up, bring your right hip up off the floor a little bit. And then press back down. And again, inhale up. So we're adding rotation as well as flexion extension to our spine. So 2 different movements all in one exercise. 2 for the price of 1. Give me 1 more. Inhale, lift up. Good. And then come back in, bring your legs to the center. Let's come up to a kneeling position. So we're going to go on to some extensions since we already done it in the Mermaid. We're going to start by opening the front of the body, and then we're going to work it. So from here, we're going to be in a kneeling position. Have your knees nice and wide on this one. Take your arms in front of you and just hinge back at the knees slightly. So you should feel a little bit of work in the quads, in the muscles here of your legs, but no strain in the knee, hopefully. Then you're going to rotate towards the left side. Place your left fingers on your heel and rest on your leg. Meanwhile, lift the other arm up and over. So you want to feel like there's a stretch at the front of the body. If you feel any strain in the back, just go half of that. Put your fingers on your calf instead. But if it feels good, go ahead and put it on your foot. Come back up, hinge back so you're in a Z shape almost. Rotate to the other side, place your fingers on the heel and reach the arm up. Try and lift the chest to the ceiling as you do that. And then come back to a neutral spine. Come back up, we'll do it one more time. Z shape, rotate to the left. Right arm goes up. And as my right arm goes up, my chest follows and lifts. Make sure you have support from the back hand though. Come back up, Z shape, rotate to the right, hands on your right heel, left arm up and open. Back to the center, bring your hands in the middle, come all the way up. Now, just a quick stretch before we move on to the next one. If your back feels okay and you want to try a fuller stretch, reach one hand behind and then the other hand behind. Press onto your heels and lift the chest up. If that feels awful for your back, just don't do it. Just go into this one more time on both sides. But otherwise, stay here and really focus on lifting your chest up to the ceiling while you pull the ribs down. That's the key to keep the strain out of the back. And then take a big inhale here. And then to come out, bring one arm in front and then the other. Remember that opening at the front of your chest. We're going to go into the swan. So you're going to lie down on the floor first. And again, we'll do a baby swan, a duckling basically, a small swan, and then we're going to go into the full version. So for those of you who feel like the full swan is too much, we'll just do a baby version. So you're going to take your inhale as you lift the chest off the floor. Remember to scoot the abdominals away from the mat. You want to feel your lower back staying long. and then lower back down. And again, your arms here are slightly pressing to the ground, very slightly, just to aid that lift. And then come back down. Remember, the lift or the bending should come from here, from the middle of your back, instead of coming from the lower back. So you want to peel the front ribs away from the floor, but keep the lower ribs on the floor. And if you're ready for the full version, come with me. Take an inhale, go up into your baby swan, and then grow, grow, grow into full swan. Look straight ahead. Your arms are slightly in front of your shoulders. As you exhale, bend your elbows, maintain the shape of your spine the same, and roll all the way down to the floor. Back is straight. We're going to do it 3 more times. So inhale, start to feel the chest raising up to the ceiling. Your arms are going to press the floor away. You're going to roll yourself up, and then go ahead and come back down. So imagine that you are like a frozen banana. So you want to keep the same shape from this point on, all the way until the end. Same thing goes for the way down. You want to keep that shape going on the way down. Do it 1 more time. So, twice more. So imagine the top of the head is attached to a string, and that string is pulling you up to the ceiling. And you're going to come back down. And we'll do it 1 more time. Take a big breath in. And then exhale. Roll the rest of the way up. Hold. And then from here, sit back on your heels. Tuck your toes under. Sit back, sit back, sit back. Use your arms to kind of help you push your bottom closer to your heels. And because your toes are tucked under, you should hopefully feel a stretch in the base of your feet right here into the arches. If you're up for a bigger stretch for your arches, lift up the knees off the floor, right? So I'm gonna be back here so you can see better. Lift the knees up and press the heels down. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Now, some of you might be able to put the heels all the way down. I just can't do that. I wish I could. I'm working on it, but it's not happening yet. Now from here, place your hands down onto the ground. You're gonna lift your bottom up. Your heels are gonna be down onto the floor. And again, if your hamstrings are feeling tight today, keep your knees bent. But if you can, go ahead and straighten them all the way. Keeping your head low, begin to roll up from the pelvis. Roll up into a standing position. And we'll do it 1 more time. So from a standing position, you roll down from the head, your rib cage, your arms are just hanging in front of you. Roll all the way down. Bend the knees if you have to. Inhale here. Exhale, roll back up. Pelvis leads the way. Roll all the way back up. And then once you're up standing, give me 3 big shoulder rolls. And then last one, big inhale all the way up. And an exhale all the way down. Give me 1 more. Big inhale up. And an exhale down. Give yourself a little shake, a little run in place. And you guys are all done. Hey guys, thank you so much for taking the class with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button here. You can also find me on social media channels as well as at mirkofitfoodie.com. Till I see you next time, remember, make the change 1 small step at a time. Take care. We got it, guys. I'm feeling it too. I'm with you the whole way.